about ensemble learning. Under ensemble learning, we will discuss the techniques of boosting and bagging in detail. One more is there, that is the technique of stacking is also there with this ensemble learning. Then we will talk about feature selection and feature selection techniques. Fine. So let's start when we talk about fuzzy logic. So firstly, we need to understand what is fuzzy logic. So basically, fuzzy logic is a form of many valued logic in which the truth value of variables may be real numbers. It may be 0, 1, between 0 and 1. Actually, these values are between 0 and 1. These are not exactly 0, 1. These are between 0 and 1. So we represent 0 ones. If we talk about simply the Boolean numbers, that is the Boolean logic when we are talking about, basically we are having two types of logic. We are having Boolean logic, that is also called your conceptual logic. Fine, and you can call it traditional logic also. And when we talk about fuzzy logic, this is the another term. So when we talk about Boolean logic, we only talk about true, false, that is 0 and 1, 1 and 0. Sorry, 1 and 0. Fine, but when we talk about fuzzy logic is even more than this 0 and 1 values, and it represents the values between 0 and 1. More closeness is being represented by using the fuzzy logic. So when it is basically employed to handle the concept of partial truth. It handles the concept of your partial truth, where the truth value may range between completely true or completely false. So we can say it is real between completely true values or completely false values, as well as partial true is there, partial false is there. So somewhat like these type of values, they are present when we represent with the fuzzy logic. And by contrast, when we talk about Boolean logic, the truth values are only 0 and 1. The term fuzzy logic was basically introduced in 1965 and it was proposed, it was a proposal of fuzzy set theory. It was a proposal of fuzzy set theory and fuzzy logic had been studied since long years and it has defined a number of values and a lot of applications are there. It is based on the observation that people make decisions based on imprecise and non-numerical information. Fuzzy models or sets are mathematical means of representing vagueness of something or some imprecise values of something. The imprecise information, these models have the capability of recognizing, representing and manipulating and interpreting and utilizing data and information that are vague and have lack of uncertainty. So when we are having uncertainty in something, when we can't say this thing is true, this thing is false, but we instead of this we can say it is partially true, or you can say it is partially false. At the same time, you want to say it is 60% true, then it can be, it can't be. So yes, we will, let's continue with the topic. We were having some issue in this, so let's continue. Beta, am I audible? Yes, earlier there was some issue. Now am I audible? Bache, can you please respond? And my screen is visible to you? Yes, Krishan, can you please tell me? Let me check for response from Shivani. I have got the response. Okay, fine. Thank you, beta. Thanks for your responses. So we were here at this point. So here we can see when we talk about something like this, I have asked someone a question, is it cold? So when we talk about Boolean logic, you will respond like this. You will say, yes, it is cold. No, it is not cold. But if you want to represent like this, yes, it is too much cold. Fine, that is 0.9% cold. And you can also say little cold, very less cold. So if you want to represent the values like this, then they can be represented with the help of fuzzy logic. Now let's have a look at this. So here we say fuzzy logic, it is a method of reasoning that resembles human reasoning. So Boolean logic basically is more close to computer that can understand the values in 0 and 1 only. But if we want to go beyond that and we want to give some more concise values, that is actually more closer to the human reasoning, then we go with the value of fuzzy logic. So here we can say these values are like certainly yes, possibly yes, can't say, possibly no, certainly no. So yes, like you do rating on this factor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these type of 5 parameters can be there, that can be certainly yes, possibly yes, can't say, possibly no, certainly no. So these values can be represented with the help of fuzzy logic. Now we have to discuss about what is the basically need of fuzzy logic. So the reason behind using the fuzzy logic is that it is a technique to embody human-like thinking. So we can consider it represents human-like thinking. If you want to represent human-like thinking, then you have to use fuzzy logic. And then we also say it may not be designed to give accurate reasoning, but it will definitely provide some acceptable reasoning. It may not provide 100% accurate reasoning, but it will definitely provide acceptable reasoning. And then you can also say that it can emulate human deductive thinking, that is the process by which people use to infer conclusion from what they know. If people know something, they can make conclusion. So this can be represented with fuzzy logic. And then we can also talk about the uncertainties. We say any uncertainties can be easily dealt with the help of fuzzy logic. So these are the things, and we can also say uncertainty engineering is there, acceptable reasoning is there, it controls machines and consumer products, human like thinking is there. So these are the major requirement that why we need this fuzzy logic. So have a look at this picture, it will be more clearer from this. Now suppose we are talking about traditional logic. So what happens in traditional logic is, suppose there are two cars and these cars are based on certain automatic process. So what will happen in this case is something like this. So someone asks you, is these two cars close? Then you will definitely say yes, brakes one on. Fine. So what will happen in this case? Suppose that car is not too close and you thought that you said yes, car is close, but you are not aware of how much the one car is close to another car, and you applied brakes all of a sudden. Then there are the chances that you thought the car is too close and you brake has been applied. Then there are the chances of colliding your car with some other car also. So that is the problem that can happen with the traditional logic, which only says yes, it is closed or it is not closed. So anything may be possible in such scenario. But let us consider this case, automatic braking system, where it says fuzzy logic is being implemented. Now it says two cars are closed. It is answering something like half. It is 0.8% close. That is 0.8% close. 0.8% you can consider it as 80% close. So if it is 80% close, we say pretty close. It's too close. Two cars are too close to apply the brake. Fine. So it in this case, brakes are applied 0.8% fairly with heavy pressure. But suppose it in answers like this, that is 0.2 close. So if it is 0.2 close, then you need not to apply the brake with heavy pressure. You can apply the brake with the light pressure also. So this is the case. The automatic car system, automatic braking system is there, which is based on certain fuzzy logic that can take the decisions that how much the car is closed. Based on the value between, again the values will be between 0 to 1. It is, if it is 0.8, it is pretty close and apply brake with heavy pressure. But in this case, if the car is 0.2 close, then it means you can apply the brake with little pressure, because if you apply brake with little pressure, you have time between the collision of the two cars to control the car. So this is how the fuzzy logic works in the automation systems. So next we have the architecture for the fuzzy logic. So when we talk of the architecture of the fuzzy logic, so it works like this. Here at the initial stage, some input is being provided, and this input is being fed to the fuzzifier, and then from the fuzzifier there the process of fuzzification is being done. The process is known as fuzzification. And when we talk about this rule-based learning, so it means certain rules are being applied. Let's discuss about rule-based first. So basically, rule-based thing, this part contains the set of rules and if-then conditions provided by the experts to govern the decision-making system on the basis of this linguistic information. Fine. So recent developments in fuzzy theory offer several effective methods for the design and tuning of these fuzzy controllers, and most of these developments reduce the number of fuzzy rules. Now fuzzy rules are in total number has been decreased, but lots of development has been done. Now based on this rule based system, there is fuzzifier, which performs the process of fuzzification. So let's discuss what is this fuzzification. So fuzzification is basically used to convert the inputs, that is the input, and this input we consider as the crisp input. Fine. So we are having the crisp inputs, the crisp numbers into the fuzzy sets. So fuzzifier will convert the crisp inputs, crisp numbers into the fuzzy sets. And crisp inputs are basically the exact inputs measured by the sensors and passed into the control system for processing, such as temperature, pressure, rotations per minute, or anything like this. And when we talk about these fuzzy inputs, basically they are like some values that is having some high pressure, less pressure, likewise. Fine. Then we have inference engine. So when we talk about inference engine, it basically determines the matching degree of the current fuzzy input that is being taken from here, the current fuzzy input with respect to each rule, and it will consider each rule. So you can say there is arrow one coming from this rule base also. So it is interacting with fuzzification process and the rule based process also. So it determines the matching degree of the current fuzzy system input with respect to each rule and decides which rules are to be fired according to the input field. Next, the 5 rules are combined to form the control actions, and then certain actions are being performed over here. So after this we have the defuzzification process. Here is we are having defuzzifier, and it performs defuzzification. And when we talk about defuzzification, it is used to convert the fuzzy sets obtained by the inference engine into the crisp value. So again, the output in this case is the crisp output. Fine. So there are several defuzzification methods available, and the best suited one is used with the specific expert system. So let me have a look at your chat box once, if there is some query from your side. Okay, fine, no query. So if no query, let's continue. Let me mute all. I'm getting some disturbance from your side. Okay, so fine, let's continue from here. So I hope it is easy to understand the architecture. And these are the things that we have already discussed. What about rules are there? These are fuzzy controllers. We have discussed this thing. Fuzzification, we have skipped this thing. Under fuzzification, we are having LP, MP, S, MN, and LN values. These are the 5 steps in which the input signal is separated. So what does it mean? It simply means these are large positive. L is large positive, MP is medium positive, then we have small, medium negative, and large negative values. Inference engine and defuzzification we have already discussed in the when we discussed explain this diagram, then we have discussed the thing over there. Now let's have a look at the membership function. So when we talk of the membership function, so basically this membership function is a graph, and this graph defines how each point in the input space is mapped to the membership value, that is between 0 and 1. Input space is often referred to as the universe of discourse and the universal set mu. This is the universal set mu over here, which contains all the possible elements of concern in each particular application, and this will map all the values from A to X in this case, and this is being represented along the x-axis and the y-axis. So this is x-axis. So this x-axis represents the universe of discourse, and the y-axis represents the values between 0 and 1. Now here you can see some values, like this is some value. So this is negative with this one value, and this MN, as we have already discussed in this thing, this is medium negative, not 100% negative, medium negative. If some value is over here, this is your simply the small value, fine. And then we talk of this MP, this is medium positive, and this LP, this is your, again we say, large positive value. So these are the 5 values that are represented. Instead of answering only positive or negative, we will call them negative, medium negative, small negative, medium positive, and your large positive. So this is how membership function is used to map all the values. This is simply a graph, nothing else. And let's there may be some confusion between fuzzy logic and probability, because we are again talking about how much the 2 cars are close that they can collide with each other. So this is the probability theory also. So let's discuss some differences between fuzzy logic and the probability over here. So when we talk about fuzzy logic, we basically try to capture the essential concept of vagueness. And when we talk about probability, it is associated with events and not the facts. And those events will either occur or not. We will say someone will come or someone will not come. But we will not talk about the vagueness. But we talk about the uncertainty values in fuzzy logic. So fuzzy logic captures the meaning of partial truth. Suppose something is, you can say 25% true. It means it is 75% false. So this is the partial truth in this case. So if you want to capture the values like this, then you can go with the fuzzy logic. And then we have probability theory. It captures the partial knowledge. It captures partial truth, and probability captures partial knowledge. And fuzzy logic takes the truth degrees as mathematical basis, and whereas the probability is a mathematical model of ignorance. Remember, probability considers something is not going to happen, probability is very less, so ignore that. But fuzzy logic says don't ignore if there are chances of 0.2% occurrence also, but it means there are chances of occurrence. So this is not based on the ignorance model. Now suppose consider the same example of car over here. Suppose we say the cars are 0.2 close. Their closeness is 0.2 fuzzy value. So it means there are less chances of collision if you apply the brake, but still there are chances. You have to avoid the accident, so you have to apply the brake. So we never, if we do this thing with the probability case, then obviously there are no chances to implement that, the cars will collide. But if you are implementing it with fuzzy logic, with partial truth we are working, so there are chances of removing accidents. So the major difference you can consider is probability theory is based on 100% mathematics, but fuzzy logic works on the uncertainty. Now let's have some applications of the fuzzy logic system. So when we have a look at this, one of the application is aerospace field for altitude control. Suppose there are you're talking about aerospace, aeroplanes and spacecraft, and you want to control their altitude values. So this can be an application of your fuzzy logic, and then controls the speed and traffic in the automotive system. So if automatic cars are there and you want to control the traffic, like someone is on the to control the traffic, you have been given that the traffic is 0.8%, mean traffic is quite high. So there should be control some traffic lights of the previous you can say roundabout, they should be set to in that way that the next roundabout traffic can be controlled. At the same time, to avoid the collision between different vehicles, you have to apply the brakes with that much pressure, and that can be measured with the help of fuzzy values. And it is very useful in decision making sports systems and personal evaluation. This controls the pH values, drying, chemical distillation process, and chemistry industry is also using it. Natural language processing is using it, and these are used in modern control systems also. So from these few images, we can conclude that major applications are used in aerospace field for altitude control and spacecraft and satellite control. It has been used in the automotive system for speed control and traffic control. It is used for decision making sports system and personal evaluation in the large company business. It has applications in the for controlling pH and drawing chemical distillation process. Fuzzy logic is used in natural language processing and various other intensive applications in artificial intelligence. It is extensively used in modern control systems such as expert systems. It is used with neural networks as it mimics how a person would make decisions. Only much faster, it is done by aggregation of data and changing it into more meaningful data by forming partial truths and the fuzzy sets. Next, we have advantages of your fuzzy system. So the basics, we say this fuzzy logic system is easy and understandable. The construction of fuzzy logic system is easy and understandable. Next is it is widely used for commercial and practical purposes. Fine. So this system can work with any type of input, whether it is imprecise, distorted input, or the input may consist of noise also. All these things can be controlled. This can work with uncertainty of engineering, mostly rubbish, as no precise inputs are required in this case. Fuzzy logic comes with mathematical concept of set theory, and it provides feedback sensors stop working and you can program it in the situation. You can easily modify it to improve or alter system performance. Fine. So there are a number of algorithms that are available. Inexpensive sensors can be used which help you to keep the overall system cost effective. Then we'll talk about disadvantages. And fuzzy logic is not always accurate because we have said this is upon absolute values, somewhat based on assumptions. So this is working on assumptions. It cannot recognize machine learning as well as neural network type patterns. And validation and verification of fuzzy knowledge-based system needs extensive testing with hardware. So many researchers propose different ways to solve the given problem through fuzzy logic, which leads to ambiguity. Means something having multiple meanings. There is no system approach to solve a given problem. Fine. Validation and verification of fuzzy knowledge-based system needs extensive testing, and setting exact fuzzy rules and membership function is very difficult task. At times, the fuzzy logic is confused with probability theory, but I have already cleared this point, so you should not get confused between these two things. So next we have ensemble learning. So just have a look at, but when we talk about the ensemble learning, what does it mean? Just a minute. So here is the point that comes for ensemble logic. So when we talk about ensemble logic, Ensemble term comes from configuration of something from multiple devices. So ensemble based system is obtained basically by combining. By combining what? By combining diverse models. Fine. So basically these diverse models are the classifiers. So in this case, you are combining multiple classifiers, or you can just use the ensemble systems. These multiple classifiers are being combined. And there are several scenarios where using the ensemble system makes statistical sense. It is giving sometimes statistical senses. Fine. So where ensemble system makes this thing, so we can say that this is used to fully or practically appreciate the importance of multiple classifier systems to improve the system. Basically, we want to improve the systems in this case. Let me clear my screen once and I will show you something. So here you can have a look at this thing. Suppose these are my 3 storage medias. Fine. And we say we are having some weak learners over here. So let's understand what are these weak learners, because these form the basis for your ensemble learning. So a weak learner is just one which performs relatively poorly. Its accuracy is above chance. So it means there are some systems that are giving less accuracy and they come under the category of weak learners. So there is often but not always the added implication that is computationally simple. So weak learner also suggests that many instances of the algorithm are being pooled together. So what is it mean? From these multiple sources, we can have multiple processing system. Different algorithms may be working on this. This may be algorithm 1, algorithm 2, and this algorithm 3. And there are n number of algorithms. You can consider it an also. So all these algorithms are working, and when all these will provide a one common output. So multiple data sources are there. As these are weak and accuracy is a question mark in this case. So these can be worked on by different algorithms. Suppose k-means is working over here, and here some other classifiers are working. Fine, here neural networks are working. So there may be different techniques that can be implemented on different systems. So to make all these big systems big, to overcome the limitation of all, these are combined into one common platform and they will provide at least at the end one common output. Fine. So after this, weak learners, these are, you can call these as your random data samples also. So these are random data samples, and these random data samples are acted upon by a number of algorithms. So from these number of algorithms, you will get one common output, and this is basically known as your final model in this case. So in statistics, the machine learning ensemble methods use multiple learning algorithms to obtain better predictive performance that could be obtained from any of the constituent learnings. So here you can say ensemble learning, it is the process by which multiple models such as classifiers or experts are strategically generated and combined to solve particular computational intelligent problems. So it is primarily used to improve, the major target is to improve the classification, prediction and approximation theory. And then we say other applications of ensemble learning include assigning a confidence, that you are assigning confidence to a machine that it is giving the one of the best results to the decision made by the model, selecting optimal or nearest optimal features, like we are talking about partially negative, partially positive, yeah, partially true, partially false, completely true, completely false. So you are giving some near optimal values in this case. And next we have one more thing in this case that is to be discussed is the model selection. Fine. So when we talk about the model selection, This is basically here, it is perhaps the primary reason why ensemble based systems are used in practice, but is most appropriate classifier for a given classification problem is this question over here. This question can be interpreted in two different ways. These are the two ways. So the first way says what type of classifier should be chosen among many competing models such as multi-layer perception model is there, sport vector machines are there, decision making trees are there, naive maze are there. So we have to choose, we are available with a number of classifiers and we have to choose one of them. So this is a quite difficult task in a scenario. So our model selection method using ensemble learning gives a solution to this. It says go with any of the value and come with one result. Now suppose, let us take some example from your life also. Suppose when you joined engineering, you after when you have completed your +2 examination, then at that time there might be in your mind some suppose you went to your father said beta go for engineering, fine, and then the scenario comes, you met your friend, your classmates, they are deciding they are a bit confused and they want to go for like bachelor of sciences program, they don't want to go for bachelor of engineering. So that is the second input. He has his own mind, he inside his body some other algorithm is running, and inside of your father's brain some other algorithm is being running. And at the same next time, suppose you went for looking for the institute of your choice, and you went to some engineering institute, and when you visit that institute there is a time period like you are given deadlines that you are given deadline like MST is coming, you have to complete all the worksheets, you have to complete all the projects, all the quizzes, all the surprise tests, a number of things are there that you are supposed to do, and those students are busy in those things, they have to do a number of things. And at that time you met you were visited in that campus in which students are busy in that task, and suddenly you stopped one student and you asked shall I go for engineering, then he will definitely say, now let me take your example, but will you so beta daughter, you will say no, don't go for engineering, it's very challenging task, it consists of lot of burden, we have to do a number of worksheet, we have to do a number of projects, fine. So obviously that student is going through that situation in which currently you are going through, you will definitely say don't go for engineering, because inside your body some other algorithm is running on. So same thing is happening with the machine learning, that machine is learning from the data that is being provided. So you are learning from the data that is coming to you from a number of your friends and your relatives and number of and other environmental factors. So at that time you will compile all those, you will not go with your father's decision, you will not go with your friend's decision, you will not go with the other existing engineering student decision. Instead of that you will you will do the compilation of all the facts, fine, you will compile all the facts and you will take one decision. That is the same thing that ensemble learning is doing. All are providing some feedback, some input, some data, and they all are having their own algorithm. So that is the first question over here. Multi-layer perception, these all are running their own algorithms. And what happened after that? Given a particular classification algorithm, which realization of the algorithm should be chosen? For example, different initialization, MLP, they give rise to a decision boundaries, and at the end you will take one decision and you will design one final model in this case, fine. So this is what the thing is happening, multiple features are being done, you combine all those and you will get the best out of this. And